In Tegucigalpa, Honduras, Roberto, an unfortunate dad of two, is moved toward by a previous belle of the ball, Giselle. Giselle offers to sign his small kids, Miguel and Rocio, to youngster demonstrating contracts. He acknowledges and takes them to the photo shoot. Nonetheless, when he gets back to get his kids, they are no more. It is uncovered that the kids were offered to be utilized as sex slaves. In Calexico, California, Tim Ballard is a specialist for the Country Security Examinations, HSI, where he captures individuals who have and disseminate kid erotic entertainment. The difficult work negatively affects his own life, and this is possibly deteriorated when another specialist, Chris, brings up that they have captured numerous youngster hunters, however have neglected to save even a solitary kid from being taken. Advantage of Tim makes sense of that this is on the grounds that a large portion of them are in different nations, however Chris' words stay with him. He addresses a hunter he captured, Ernst Oshinsky, and professes to be a pedophile himself. When he acquires Ohinsky's trust, he sets up a gathering with adult kid, and can capture the one who bought the kid, Baron Buchanan. Tim salvages the kid, who says he goes by Miguel. Tim gets to know the kid and asks him for data, wanting to track down different youngsters. Tim discovers that Miguel's sister is as yet absent, and the kid requests that he save her. Tim sets up for Roberto to get his child back, and Roberto separates since his girl is as yet absent. Miguel and Roberto return home, yet not before Miguel gives Tim his sister's holy purse and Timothy neckband. Tim begins searching for Rocio, and his pursuit drives him to Cartagena, Colombia. He meets with previous cartel bookkeeper, Vampiro, who currently attempts to save kids from sex dealing. Subsequent to finding out about a youngster sex club in Thailand that was closed down, Tim concludes that this is the ideal main story to procure an enormous number of Giselle's kids in a sting activity. Vampiro gets a Colombian cop, Jorge, and a rich resident named Paul to assist with Tim's main goal. Tim's HSI boss, Ice, can't give financing to the activity and requests that he return. Tim, reluctant to leave. The quest for Rocio leaves. Notwithstanding, ICE is at last ready to persuade the Colombian U.S. government office to help with Tim's salvage activity. Covert, they persuade Giselle to sell them 54 youngsters, effectively capture the backstabbers in general and free the kids. Be that as it may, Rocio isn't with them. In the wake of examining one of Giselle's partners, Jorge discovers that Rocio was sold as a captive to the progressive military of Colombia, settled in somewhere down in the Amazon regular district. Behind hostile area, Jorge illuminates Tim that it is basically impossible to recover the young lady, on the grounds that the locale is generally unmapped wilderness wild, and any revolutionary region is a restricted airspace for the Colombian government. Nonetheless, Vampiro recommends that specialists can get into the locale for clinical purposes, which gives Tim the plan to act like specialists. Jorge hesitantly consents to the unsafe activity. Tim and Vampiro endeavor to enter hostile area en masse, however the dissidents will not let the two of them enter, letting Tim to finish the mission B. Tim effectively accesses the faux camp where Rocio is being held. He discovers that she is being utilized as the individual sex slave for the agitator chief, El Alacran, the Scorpion, and is additionally being compelled to squash coca. Passes on to create cocaine to subsidize the renegade conflict against the Colombian government. Tim figures out how to save Rocio, yet is compelled to kill El Alacran simultaneously. Regardless of being taken shots at by the renegades, Tim barely figures out how to save Rocio and gives her the jewelry Miguel gave him before. Rocio is at long last restored her to her dad and sibling, and the family gets back to Honduras. An epilogue uncovers that Tim Ballard always avoided his vocation in government policing. He acknowledges his significant other for rousing him to make activity Underground Railroad, which keeps on saving youngsters from sexual bondage right up till now, and has persuaded the U.S. Congress to pass regulations that require the public authority to help out far-off nations on sex dealing examinations. The epilogue additionally expresses that there are a larger number of individuals oppressed today than in some other time ever, including when subjection was lawful. A large number of these slaves are kids, and the U.S. is one of the top shoppers of kid sex slaves.